or somehow wrong, even though you did absolutely nothing wrong, that feeling isn't an accident. Someone may have just used one of the most powerful dark psychology tactics on you. And the scariest part? They might not even realize they're doing it. In the next 10 minutes, I'm going to show you 5 dark psychology tactics being used on people every single day, including you. And once you see them, you can never unsee them. Dark psychology isn't some theory from a movie villain. It's a set of real studied behaviors, tactics that manipulate, control, and exploit the people around them. Psychologists have studied these patterns for decades, and what they found is deeply disturbing. These tactics appear in relationships, workplaces, families, and even social media. The people using them range from fully conscious manipulators to people who simply learned these behaviors in childhood and never questioned them. Here are the 5 most common and most dangerous tactics you need to know. The term comes from a 1944 film called Gaslight, where a husband secretly dims the gas lights in the house, then convinces his wife she's imagining it. That's exactly what psychological gaslighting does. It makes you question your own reality. It sounds like this: that never happened. You're too sensitive. You're imagining things. I never said that. Over time, the victim starts to distrust their own memory, their own feelings, their own perception of reality. They become emotionally dependent on the manipulator to define what's real. Research published in Psychiatry Research confirms that gaslighting is one of the most psychologically damaging forms of emotional abuse because it attacks the very foundation of a person's identity, their ability to trust themselves. If you've ever felt like you were going crazy in a relationship but couldn't explain why, now you know. Imagine meeting someone who seems absolutely perfect. They text you constantly. They tell you you're special, different, unlike anyone they've ever met. They shower you with attention, gifts, and affection, all within the first few weeks. It feels incredible, until it stops. Love bombing is a manipulation tactic used to create intense emotional dependency as fast as possible. Narcissists and people with dark triad personality traits use it to hook their target before their real behavior surfaces. Once the love bombing phase ends, and it always ends, the victim is already emotionally invested. They spend the rest of the relationship chasing that initial feeling, doing whatever it takes to get it back. Dr. Dale Archer, a clinical psychiatrist, describes love bombing as the deliberate use of affection as a weapon. It's not love, it's a trap. This one might seem harmless on the surface. Someone gets upset, they go quiet, they stop responding. What's the big deal? The big deal is this: when used deliberately and repeatedly as punishment, the silent treatment is a form of emotional control. Neuroscience research from Kipling Williams at Purdue University found that being ignored activates the same regions of the brain as physical pain. The silent treatment doesn't just feel bad. Your brain processes it as a literal attack. The manipulator knows this. By withdrawing communication, they create anxiety, guilt, and desperation in the other person. The victim ends up apologizing, even when they've done absolutely nothing wrong, just to end the unbearable silence. It's a tool of power, disguised as hurt feelings. We'll move in together soon. I'm going to change, I promise. Next year, everything will be different. Future faking is the practice of making promises about the future with no intention of keeping them. It's used to keep someone invested in a relationship or a situation that isn't working and may never work. The psychological mechanism is simple but cruel. Hope is one of the most powerful forces in the human mind. As long as there's hope for a better future, people will endure enormous amounts of present pain. The manipulator exploits this by constantly moving the goalposts. The better future is always just around the corner. And the victim keeps waiting, keeps sacrificing, keeps hoping for something that was never real. This tactic introduces a third person into a relationship dynamic to create jealousy, insecurity, and competition. It might look like this: a partner constantly mentions how attractive their coworker is. A parent compares siblings to each other. A friend talks about how much fun they have with other people when you're not around. The goal is to make you feel replaceable, insecure, constantly competing for someone's approval. Triangulation keeps the victim in a perpetual state of anxiety and self doubt, and an anxious, insecure person is much easier to control. Dr. Ramani Durvasula, one of the leading experts on narcissistic abuse, identifies triangulation as one of the signature tactics of the narcissist, designed specifically to destabilize the victim's sense of self worth. So, what do you do with this information? First, awareness is your greatest weapon. These tactics lose most of their power the moment you can name them. When you feel that familiar confusion, guilt, or anxiety, pause and ask yourself, is this coming from inside me or is someone creating it? Second, trust your perception. Gaslighting works because we're taught to doubt ourselves. Your feelings are valid. Your memory is real. Your discomfort is telling you something. Third, recognize the patterns, not just the moments. One strange conversation means nothing. A consistent pattern of these behaviors means everything. And finally, if you recognize these tactics in someone close to you, understand this. You cannot fix a manipulator by loving them harder. The healthiest thing you can do is protect your own mind. Dark psychology is real, but so is your ability to see through it. If this video opened your eyes to something you've been experiencing, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Subscribe, because next week we're going inside the mind of the narcissist. How they think, how they choose their victims, and how to finally break free. You don't want to miss it.